Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you are new to me, it's the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's gonna be happening today. If you are not new to me, thank you for tuning in, the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today I have for you my weekly wrap up. This is September 4th through September 10th and all my reading shenanigans in between. I don't have as much as I wanted to talk about this week to talk about, but what I do have to talk about, I really did enjoy. So without further ado, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. All right, so I did complete 3 books this week and start a 4th one. However, one of the books I will not be talking about because it is my Readsy Discovery book of All Faiths and None by Andrew Tweeddale. It looks like this. I did do a full book review on it. So I'm trying to keep all my thoughts on the book in that one video, so they're not all sporadic around. So I will link that video down below along with in a card at the top. You can go check it out. And all of my Readsy Discovery links will be linked down the bottom below, so you can go check out my stuff on that as well. It's another area for you to be able to talk to me on if you guys so choose. I will tell you though, however, I gave that book a 4.5 stars and I had a fantastic time with it. So if you want more thoughts on it, definitely go check out that video. Again, the card will be up here in the corner. Now, what I did complete. Let's just get into this. So my first book I completed this week was Under the Lights by Abbi Glines. This is the 2nd installment in the Field Party series. And I had not as good a time with this one as I did until Friday night. I was actually quite upset about that. I still enjoyed it, but not as much as I did the first installment. That first installment was just, it was great. I only gave this one 3 stars. Yeah, from a 5-star to a 3-star. So let's just get into it. So this 2nd installment does feature death of a child, suicide of a child, and drug and alcohol abuse of minors. Those are some triggers that are in this book. This one definitely hit the serious notes a hell of a lot harder than the first installment. And I think that was kind of the reason why I didn't really get the same feeling as I did in the first book, just because of all the really heavy, dark elements in this. This is a small town romance, but it is very little on the romance and more on the small town drama with a lot of dark undertones. Like this one shocked me a little bit. It was a whole nother side of Abbi Glines that I'm not used to seeing. So that was very eye-opening. She handled it well. She did it very, very well. It was just very different. If you told me that this was part of the Field Party series without having read the first book, I would assume the first book was like this. These books are polar opposite in their makeups, their chemistries. They are night and day. Both good in their own right, but I would never guess that these two belonged in a series, except for the fact that they have similar covers and there's one joint character. I would never assume that they were in the same series unless you told me. They were that night and day. So the summary of this one, we follow Brady, Gunnar, and Willa, and they were all childhood friends. Brady has the perfect family, and Brady is our carryover character from Until Friday Night. He was Maggie's cousin, who she lived with. So there's where our tie-in comes in. Gunnar was the wealthy beyond imagine, but he was not favorite of the Lawton boys. He is what the town's namesake is named after. His last name is the same as the town's name. So he is the family old money in the town. So, you know, he's that family, but he is not the favorite of the Lawton boys. He is kind of the overlooked one. And Willa is the granddaughter of the Lawton housekeeper. Willa, Brady, and Gunnar were childhood friends. And at around 11 or 12, Willa moves in with her mother. And before she had moved in, she had started to develop a crush on Brady while keeping Gunnar strictly in the friend zone. But Gunnar liked Willa. Brady liked Willa, but Willa didn't know that Brady liked Willa. So we've got this little triangle forming here, and Gunnar and Brady are besties. So triangle forming at 11 years old, and then Willa is uprooted and moved in with her mother to join her family. Her mother had her as a young girl in high school and finally got on her feet and wanted to have her whole family unit, except that didn't really work out to Willa's advantage. Willa was more just she was part of the picture of the perfect family, but she wasn't actually a member of the family. That is kind of her makeup once she left to live with her mother. After some time, Willow returns, but she returns after spending some time in a juvenile correctional facility due to some trouble that she got into with one of her joint friends. And this is where the death of a child and suicide of a child comes in. Without spoiling it, Willa didn't do anything wrong. She was just at the wrong time. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time, involved in inappropriate activities for a minor. So she was punished and was sentenced to some time in a juvenile correctional facility. And when she returned, her mother kicked her out. So she went back to her grandmother's, the only place she ever really felt safe. Now, once she returns, all of the past feelings start to sort of come back to the surface, as well as secrets that have been kept for a long time that no one knew anything about. And then this story goes from this little love triangle that you think it's going to be into like Jerry Springer episode from fucking hell. All right. So many twists, so many turns, so many, you did what with who? What? First half of the book, one way. Second half of the book, Jerry Springer episode. Night and day. Night and fucking day. But it was still done really, really well. What worked in this book? The love triangle that was created was totally believable. I mean, just the little nuances that Abbi gave us, the little images that she gave us, the little tidbits that she gave us in the very beginning, completely believable. When Willa comes back, this regurgitation, redeveloping of feelings, rekindling of feelings, all completely believable, completely plausible. I was down for this triangle. I was ready for a love triangle with two besties who both liked the same girl, and the girl liked one guy, but then realizes she likes the other guy a whole lot better, and then a friend zone. I was so down for this. I was ready. So I loved the original love triangle that was developed, which I thought was the scope of the book. That's what I thought going in. You saw the behavior with Gunnar and Brady with the jealousy factor involving Willa. It was on point for high schoolers. I thought it was adorable. Not super cringy, not super, alpha hole-ish. It was palpable. It was relatable. I could definitely see boys in high school doing the things that they did to convey that they were jealous and try to one-up the other guy. Very, very plausible, very, very believable. Brady. I loved Brady. Brady carried over from the first book. And in the first book, he's a super nice guy. He's a nice guy. And in this book, he still holds true. Even though he is currently dating somebody else, but has feelings for Willa, he maintains the nice guy standard. And I fucking love that. I love that Abbi gave me a guy who acknowledges that he has feelings for another girl, but because the girl he is with is really not doing anything wrong, is actually going above and beyond to make him happy, he's trying to make the right decision. He's trying to be the nice guy. It's difficult, and you see the struggle that he's going through. And so I really hope that in future installments, I get Brady with a happy ending, because I want him to have one so bad, just because he sucked it up and he genuinely tried for the girl that he was currently with. He didn't just say, hey, my old fling's back in town, deuces him out. Like, he didn't do any of that. There was a little falling off the wagon, but he came back, and it was definitely sweet. I loved his character. I loved it because you don't really see that a lot. You just don't see it. And it was nice. It was refreshing to see. And the last element that really worked was Gunnar's twist. And when I mean Gunnar's twist, I mean this is a family reunion that I would never want to fucking go to. Jerry Springer episode from hell. So many revelations about Gunnar. I mean, when I say twists, I don't just mean a twist. I mean twist 1, twist 2, twist 3. Oh, look, here's a fourth fucking twist. How much more fucked up can this family get? Oh my God, you want to talk about old money secrets? Family secrets being buried and coming to the... Please, this book, right here. Right here. If you like family drama, if you like hidden family drama of like Southern families and like, keep it within the family type. Right here. Fucking fantastic. It was great. It was awesome. Definitely didn't think it belonged with this book because it felt like two different books. You have the first part and you have the second part, but both elements were really, really great. I just didn't know if they really went together. And that's what really didn't work about this book, was that you have this love triangle that was created and you spent all this time building it up. And then you have all these twists which makes this love triangle go completely fucking obsolete. Like, why even put it in there? Like, seriously, what drama I thought that was the drama. No, that was not the drama. That was a blip. That was just whatever. The drama was the second part of this book. Holy shit. It was great. I just didn't feel like they went together at that point, because this love story that we were trying to figure out who she would go with just started to fizzle out by the twist of this book. It just definitely fizzled out. And when it comes to a spice rating this book, the first installment wasn't super spicy. We had a fade to black scene. This one didn't even register. I mean, we have a puff. That's all you get. We get a few passionate kisses, and that's it. That's it. Because why would you want to have sex with all of the fucking drama that's going on in this book? Like, adding sex to the mix was a smart move on Abbi Glines' half, because if she would have started having Willa having sex with these, that would have been just too much. There's too much drama. Too much. Because there's a lot of sleeping around going in the second part of this book with drama and who's banging who and who's actually related to who. Holy shit. Wow. If you read this book, you're reading it for the fucking twist. I'm telling you, that's the book right there. The triangle becomes completely obsolete, although it is very sweet. It's very cute. I wish that would have seen more of it, but it's not the book. It's Gunner. Gunner is this book. I'm telling you, what God knows, this is Gunner's book. Brady and Will are just kind of happen to be in it. This is Gunner's. And it's awesome. So that is Under the Lights. So now, with this being my first installment being 5 and this one being 3, I have no idea where the third one's gonna go, but I'm totally down for continuing the series. And I just found out that I believe there are 6 books out currently, and a new one is coming out in November this year. So I plan on picking up the rest of these and marathoning them so I can be ready for, I believe, book 7. I don't remember what the title of it's called, but yeah, I just found that out the other day, so I was really excited about that. But yeah, so I've got the first one, which is this beautiful, hopeful love story that remind me of being in high school and the good old days. And this one, I am so happy my family was not like this. Oh my God. I am thankful for this book that my family is not like this. Holy shit. It was good, but I only gave it 3 stars because the first part and the second part of the book, they don't jive together. I feel like Abbi was going one way and then she said, no, I'm gonna throw you guys for a loop and we're gonna go this way. And that's what she did with this book. So I have no idea what I'm walking into for book 3. Have zero idea, but it's probably gonna be a good time. So, yeah. The next book I completed was Playing for Keeps by Liz Mattis. It looks like this. Now, yes, last month I read another book called Playing for Keeps, which is a hockey romance. This is a football romance. It is the first installment in the fantasy football series by Liz Mattis, and this was an audiobook done by Christine Padavon, I think is how you say her last name. So we have a football romance, but we also have a workplace romance because this follows Samantha and Ryan. Ryan Terrell is a pro football player, and Samantha is a sports reporter. She was originally a hard news reporter who was over in Iraq, and after something very traumatic happening to her, she was sent back, and she decided to do sports reporting because it was less drama, it was less threat to her safety, and what have you. And also, Ryan Terrell was a college crush of hers back at Notre Dame. So she pulled some strings to be able to report for his pro football team. Ryan has been a friend of Samantha's family for years, so we also have that trope involved as well, a family friend turned lover. And after one event of being stuck in an elevator, this mutual crush, because she still has a crush on him, he has always liked her for like 10 plus years, finally comes to fruition after this moment in the elevator, and this romance begins. What worked in this book? The original storyline. The journalist hooking up with a football player she originally had a crush on, full circle story. I love that. That was great. That was awesome. Really enjoyed it. It was the basis of this book. It was great. I also really enjoyed the friends in this because they were all really pushy. They all knew that Samantha and Ryan belonged together, and they are literally actively trying to set them up the entirety of this book, and they were already sleeping together. So I thought it was great that they're like, oh, you're gonna come to this auction, even though you've already slept with him, but maybe you could get some little slap and tickle later. Yes. And the mom, Samantha's mom is doing this, and her friend is doing it, and Ryan's best friend is doing it, and her brother hates it. But you know what? That's Big Brothers for you. So everybody is involved with this matchmaking, and it's already starting to fucking happen. Like, it's already happening, but they're not talking to anybody. They talk to each other, but they're not talking to anybody, which I thought was kind of great. I really enjoyed some of the sex scenes in this book. There was one in particular. This was probably one of the saving graces of this book for me, was this sex scene. I will never look at an inner thigh machine the same way, because the way it was utilized, that was fucking brilliant. That was fantastic. Sign me up any day of the week. That probably takes the cake for the most innovated oral sex scene I think I've ever seen. That was great. Inner thigh machine, oral sex. That's all I'm saying. You just imagine what you want to imagine, but it was great. That scene was awesome. I loved that. My coworker is really a big gym person. She works out all the time. And so when I told her about it, she just went one of these. Really? You know, it was definitely an eyebrow raise. It was definitely a good scene. And that scene was definitely awesome and did a lot of saving grace for this book, because I found there was a lot of stuff that didn't work in this book, a lot more than what did work. What didn't work was the audio book. Now, when I got this on Audible, it came with a set of 4. There are 4 installments to this series, and I got the whole series. But the whole series is done by this one narrator, so I'm kind of stuck with her. So I will be listening to the rest of them on audio, because I kind of have to. I've already paid for it, and I can't return the credit. So I'm kind of stuck. But I did not like her voice. I was not a fan of her, and I don't know if it was just the tone she was using. I wasn't a fan, and it was only a single narrator. So maybe if I would have had a male narrator and her, it would have been better, but I only had the one, and I just didn't feel like she was the best fit for this character. I felt her voice sounded very fake. It didn't feel natural to me. I don't want to bash her, because I know audio narrators do the best they can, but I just don't think she was a good fit, and it kind of ruined the story for me, because I had to force myself to listen to her, and I didn't want to. When she didn't really convey the emotion that I thought she would have conveyed, and these are just my personal opinions. Other people might have had a better experience with her as a narrator. I just didn't, but this is my first experience with her. So maybe in the next book, she might be better. Maybe it was just this book, which was the case, but I feel like I would have enjoyed the story a lot more had I physically read it than listened to it on audio. There was some cringy verbiage and dialogue in this book. There was some good dirty talk. There was some good dirty talk. I liked it. I didn't like the way it sounded in my ear, but I liked what was being said. But there was some that was really, really bad. There was an example of he went down to her clitoral area. What? I mean, I know what that means, but that's how you say it. That's what you had him say? Really? Okay. All right. And then I didn't like this statement just because I personally, if somebody asked me this, I'd probably start laughing. Like, did you seriously just ask me this fucking question? So I didn't really like this for the character of Ryan. Some of the dialogue that the author gave Ryan was kind of counterproductive of the character traits she was trying to give him. She was trying to give him this kind of cocky, masculine sort of thing, but yet could still be put in his place by this girl. And she had him ask, "Can you say my name when you come?" And I was just like, what? Did you seriously just ask her to say, really? Okay. All right. It just, Lady Boner died on that one, on that statement. I was like, and I got nothing now. You just took a really fucking cool sex scene and killed it with that one line. Nice. I lost it. I was like, I can't. I need to turn this off for a day. I can't listen to this now because I just killed that whole mood for me. The last element that didn't work was you have this long-standing crush. These guys have liked each other for 10 plus years. And I understand that when you have long-time crushes and then finally stuff starts to happen, even if there was a long-standing crush, it still wouldn't immediately turn into love like that. With the trauma that Samantha experienced overseas in Iraq, I don't feel like she would be that willing and that open, no matter who it was, to show her hand, show her emotions, and also being a reporter, keeping things close to the vest and everything. The insta love after this crush started to actually become a physical unit, just kind of, I didn't need it. I didn't need the insta love. I already knew where it was going. I didn't need it pointed out to me. And it wasn't a fun time. Sometimes insta love is good. In this instance, it didn't work because you already had this long-standing crush. So you knew they were feelings. You didn't need to automatically turn and be like, I'm in love with you. No, I've had a crush on you for 10 years and I've waited 10 years to finally kiss you and to date you. And before I'm dating you, I'm already telling you that I'm loving you. Like, no, that's not how that works. At least that's not how I wanted it to work. So, yeah. Now, spice scale, this thing got a 3 on the spicy scale, 3 chili peppers. There was graphic language, even though there was an odd choice of verbiage. The non-odd choices of verbiage were hot as hell, and I liked it. I didn't really like how it sounded in my head again, but I liked what was being said. So I just tried to put a different voice in my head. And we had some daring locations. We had a gym sex scene, and we had some nice car sex scene. We had like some romping in the back seat with some tinted windows in the parking lot of a hospital. Yeah, that was cool. I was like, yeah, I'll take some spontaneity on this one. This is awesome. They're a spontaneous couple. I like it. Cool. So I liked the unique choices of locations and the unique equipment usages. I thought that was excellent. So 3 chili peppers, but I only gave this a 2.5 on 2.5 stars. But I will be continuing with the series because, as I said, I already got it because I got it in one of those little box set series from Audible. So I still have the other 3 installments. So hopefully it'll be more of a positive experience with the next coming installment. And they are all football romances. So since it's football season, I figured it was apropos to listen to them. So we will give the narrator and this author and this series another try and see if the next installment can't save it. Because we did have some good stuff. There was some good stuff. This one wasn't for me in the Audible form. I think I might have enjoyed it more if it wasn't in the Audible form, for sure. And the last book I started, but I have not finished, is Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal. I am not as far into it as I would like, but this is, okay, so this is actually not The Dark Crystal, the book. This is the novelization of the actual film that was produced by Jim Henson. So as I'm reading this, I am literally seeing the movie verbatim, like it's the movie script just in novel form. So I find that really, really interesting. But what I want to point out is that there's pictures. This is a sketski. If you guys are not familiar with the dark crystal, this is a sketski. And they are dope as fuck. I love the sketskis. I think they're baddies and they're evil and I love them and they're cool as shit. I love them quite a lot. They're like my favorites when it comes to Jim Henson's villains. I really enjoy them. They're just so fucking creepy. And you can see them again there. There you go. I am pretty sure, I don't know, this might be the Chamberlain. This might be the Chamberlain based off of kind of his clothing. But yes. So I am still in the process of finishing this, but I will be finishing it very, very soon because it's hella short. And then I will be picking up Lifeblood. That is the next book I will be picking up, and I'll actually be picking it up today. And because I'll be finished with this here in probably 2 hours. So I'll be picking up Lifeblood today. So I will finally figure out what that is about. But that is all I've got for you guys today. I, again, will link my full review of All Faced and None by Andrew Tweeddale down below. And in the card up at the corner, you'll see it here. And all my contact information as well, along with my Readsy Discovery contact information, is now listed in my contact information area in the down box. So I will see you guys all soon with another video. And have a good one. Bye, guys.